Aye. What? What? Hey, what?
The code.
The code, okay. Yeah, you can have the code. My God. Oh.
There are no microphones.
Good morning.
Yeah, me and Sandy were just playing. Did you have a fun week? I think no one would say that. No. That was funny. Good. I survived. I'm closing it. In 20 minutes.
Oh, it's right there. 20 minutes were really specific.
I thought you said J, not G.
Can you say?
G.
No, you said J.
I said G and she typed it correctly, so.
No, she was
You're dead.
Are you
You're
done?
outside of the room.
No?
exactly like you have to enunciate for all sides of the age.
You would have done yours. No. Oh, when I said it to Tam the other day, he thought I said J as well.
Haha, maybe you still say your G's and J's right.
G.
No, you did not say it like that.
Well, when I was at Comic Con as well, when he was writing my autography, it was a G as well.
Exactly.
It's because it's Sam. G.
Laura, that did not help.
It's not Sankida. I know.
Sangita.
I'm just saying that. Sanjida.
That actually like feels really good in your throat.
I've just dropped the code online, so for those online can sign in now. So let's get this. No response. All right. Very good. Okay. Nice. Medina, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How's Canterbury?
How's Canterbury?
Yeah.
Cold.
Cold. Colder than Medway.
Yeah, it's very colder than mine because it's an open area. Like it's on a hill and there's wind everywhere. I don't like it.
That should inspire some writing, you know.
Come again?
It should inspire some writing.
It should inspire some writing.
Yeah. Anyway.
That is
It was such a good choice.
What am I?
Sit in the Canterbury choice.
Class,
Yeah.
son,
Yeah.
man, and dog.
What?
All right.
Right.
How do you not pronounce my all? Stretch. All right. So today we're discussing something very dear to my heart, and it's political economy of journalism. It's basically from the idea, the economic theory of politics and theory and economy. A blend of both of them, the politics of economy, understanding how politics influence economy, how economy influence politics. Now, this is primarily an economics theory, but then it applies to communication. So we have political economy of communication, political economy of journalism, political economy of news, and more like that, narrowing it down to specifics. But today, we are taking it from our basic angle of journalism. So we're talking about political economy of journalism, the newspaper industry in particular. Meaning we're looking at the political economy of newspaper, political economy of print journalism. You understand that we're looking at the newspaper industry in this context. And how many of you have read some of the recommended texts on Quran? Which of them? Oh, you have got Power Without Responsibility. That's very, very, very good book. You know, it talks about how the media has got power. They're not responsible. Not because they don't want to be responsible, but for some economic reasons, for some commercial reasons, because of some political influence from maybe ownership. orientation, cultural reasons, and more. And sometimes because they're struggling. All right. So far we have discussed and traveled through this journey on fourth estate understanding. I repeatedly say this so as to let you know where we're coming from, so you can connect the dots to the present. We talk about the fourth estate journey above relationship to do with political economy. Because if the political terrain and economic situation is not favoring or is not very good to the media, it will be difficult for them to function as a fourth estate because they will not be independent. There will be some level of dependency on those who can pay them. And you know the maxim that says, "He who pays the piper dictates what?" You don't know it. If I've got a piper here who plays, if I'm paying him, what happens? I'll tell him what I want to hear. You get that? He who pays the piper dictates the tune. Meaning, if I'm your employer, then it should work according to my schedule. Yeah. We travel also through journalism, democracy, and public sphere, citizen journalism. And these came up due to the failure of this, and sometimes because they want to make this work, and particularly influenced by public sphere. And we'll move on to citizen journalism and digital culture. How the internet is shaping journalism, and how it has encouraged citizen involvement in the journalism process. In other words, citizen journalism. And journalism and national identity. We discussed also journalism and gender, the representation of women in the news, both as a journalist and even as source of news. We talked about celebrity journalism and tabloidization, which speaks largely to even the topic of today: commercialization, tabloidization, trivialization of news content. And we moved on to journalism as professional practice, and we talked about the news value. So today we'll be moving forward. So we're diving into a more dynamic, deeper, complex issues that makes the media function the way they do. If you take a look at it from a critical perspective, you see that you have no reasons, perhaps less than you think or less than you have thought about, to blame them for not being responsible. This text, Power Without Responsibility, well, speaks a lot on how the media functions so far, how it has evolved, how they started involving themselves in business. Primarily, they're meant to just pass information, inform, educate, and entertain without doing so much of politics, framing, setting unnecessary agenda. But the situation they find themselves makes them of business models because they need to devise a means to survive even in a difficult terrain. So today we'll look at the UK newspaper industry, starting from the price. Of course, ours started in 1945. The quality press and the tablet press. You notice I've talked about quality journalism at the time in this class. That we have the serious press and the unserious press. My first my undergraduate project was basically on serious and unserious press. I did like a content analysis of both, and I realized that we have serious press, which are the quality press, and the unserious press. I call them unserious and quote tablet press. They may be unserious because from my orientation, they can look at you should take serious things as serious. You shouldn't trivialize because you want to get to a commercial gain. That's what I call it unserious press. So, and that unserious press is tablet press. Talk about the circulation, concentration of media ownership, and media moguls and political influence and regulatory structure. I talk about media moguls, a name should come to your mind. One name comes to mind. We talk about media moguls, the biggest media landlords in the world, the biggest media owners. Model, yeah, that's number one, Fox News Corporation, and more, and they now this one. It's almost good. So let's take a look. Since 1945, there has been a trend. And usually journalists started being professionals. They started out to be professional. They were trained to be professionals. When they take things seriously, professionals take things seriously, right? Take things like the way it should be without adding your emotions, your interests, and more. So, and what do you do next? You also ensure that that professionalism is evident in the output of your responsibilities, meaning magnetizing as delivering objectively validated content to the reader, meaning the content has to be validated. The content has to be what? Validated. When we talk about the validation of content, what we mean is that the content being shared, being discussed, this content being published is confirmed from 1, 2, 3 or more sources. This is very important because you don't want to deceive the public. This is very important because you don't want to misinform. This is crucial because you don't want to be that journalist who disorganized the polity. You don't want to be a source that will later end discredit or decredit. Like, oh, this medium is known for fake news. Don't rely on it. What happens to your market? What happens to your circulation? It will not die. Also, an additional trend that was noted was that journalistic objectivities challenged epistemological advances and the 21st century discovery. There were interaction, constructive engagements. Just like anyone that wants to engage in debates would debate serious matters. Journalists were gathering facts, truths, and saying what it is just the way it is. And it was just as simple as being objective and saying the truths were not absolute quantities which could be extracted by the application of correct procedures. So basically, one of the canons of journalism is that it must be truthful, it must be factual, it must be balanced, and a balance speaks to objectivity. And what happened afterwards? Because of this, they can't achieve this, still being aligned to the political parties. You can't be objective. You cannot even deliver the truth, absolute truth, if you are still connected with the government. There should be some level of independence, else is separated from political parties after the Second World War. According to 𝙤𝙬 and 𝘍𝑒𝑡, he said newspaper grew steadily and became more Catholic and less partisan in their ordinary news coverage. When confronted by general election, they usually expressed a party preference, but always with at least a gesture of pragmatism, and often for a different party from the one they have previously endorsed. This is some element of objectivity. Yes, we see the reason why you are here, and it is evident, very practical. This is what you believe in, this is what you reality. However, these other people think this, and it is this, and that, and that. Let us see the two sides. By 1947, Coase, which was quoted by 𝙤𝙬 and 𝘍𝑒𝑡, he wrote, and the quote, the party attachments of papers as they had been understood to operate over the preceding 100 years were effectively abandoned and focused. The press became fully independent. That's the point. Now moving. Largely freed from personal dominance of first barons. This was another development. After freedom from the parties, you know there will be some personality in society who have some dashboard of influence on media narrative because of who they are. According to John Wells, he said, for instance, the newspaper staff is left to get on with the job in the modern press because many of the new proprietors have global problems of trade and investment to occupy their mind. Neither view is entirely accurate. The truth lies somewhere in between. My truth is my truth. Your truth is your truth. You share it, I share mine. The common ground becomes the union, and the union is where the truth lies. So if you don't talk about yours, I only speak about mine. Mine will dominate yours. But when I allow everyone to speak, there will be a union. You know the set theory in mathematics. A union is a common ground between all groups. There's need to bring together collective opinions so you can establish some balance. During the immediate past post-war period, a substantial section of the press remained subject to the personal control of interventionist proprietors. That was another development in history. Moving on. However, the free street became less hierarchical in 1960s. The Daily Herald was freed from following Labour Party landmark achievements. And this went on and of course led to a rise of new and literary journalism in 1950s, 1960s, and the popularity of subsequent forms of first-person documentary on TV and similar was objectively and subjectively deliberated. Is this all making sense to you? This is like a sequence of development. By 1969, Rupert Murdoch, big man in the media industry, relaunched J.'s The Sun. And in 1960s, what happened to the Sunday Times? He became more interested in investigative journalism. Those are the two newspapers there. And okay, sorry, I think I was going the wrong way. And in 1960s, of course, it's important to note that the British newspaper faced competition from television. And simultaneously, because of the consumer boom of farm and demanding more media space. Now, this is where the problem starts taking note of this. When the competition became intense, newspapers were becoming popular. TV stations said we need to find our place. We were also trying to draw up new models that attract audience. And what happens? The advertisers, marketers say, oh, we need to get this audience to see our product. Then they needed more space in the media. And what happened? So the newspaper became bigger and filled with space with big features and feature report at the same time. What happened? The climate, the environment, media environment changed. There were more pictures than contents. And you agree with me that one of the major features of tabloid newspaper is that there are more emphasis on photographs than pictures. More emphasis on emotional content than serious, formal, corporate concerns. There are more concerns about trivial issues, about celebrities, than about politicians talking about policies, developments, and more serious concerns. All of this played out because there was need for more advanced space. And to get these advertisers to advertise in the newspaper, you need to have a closer number of readers. Not just that, you need to also have the statistics to defend your exposure and your reach. And your reach will determine how much you charge the advertisers. Think about media buying and selling. You sell, an advertiser approach me that we need to get this image or this photograph, this hard copy to 1 million UK residents in Kent. How do we do this? Which media has got that reach in Kent? How many newspapers do you sell a day? How many people tune into your radio station or your newspaper or buy your newspaper? Why? Have you asked the question, who is paying the newspapers that you're getting for free? You want coming to this class, Andrew, with a free newspaper, yes or no? A free newspaper, right? You've come into this class. Have you ever thought about who's paying for it? Why is it free? Advertisers. As you pick the newspaper, you are a product that has been sold out to the advertiser. Just the same way they're selling their product. That's the exchange. Uses and gratification. You use the paper for what you want, they use you for what they give. Yes. So moving on, newspaper became more politically partisan. Not just that, they became commercial, they became more business oriented than what it used to be, which is professional. Just tell us the news, tell us the truth, and nothing more. In fact, it got to a point where I started having advertorials. Advertorials is a blend of adverts and editorial. You know, editorial is an opinion of a news organization about a particular matter. Advertisement is, of course, a paid commercial, right? Copy, promoting a product. Now, if you call it advertorial, the newspaper are not saying, oh, take a look at the 2022 Toyota Camry. We love it. It is good because of this, that. The newspapers are not talking about airing their opinion about that car. What are they trying to do? Telling you that as an organization, if you believe in us, you've been following us, you should go get a Toyota Camry 2002. So if you have the money, because it is good for you. Meaning they are influencing the policy, influencing their readers. They are always not selling you out, they are also trying to contribute to us. Because if you believe in a particular newspaper, then you want to do what they believe in. So that goes on and on. Take a look. It's the song. What I got you. It's the song. What won it? Yeah, it's the song. What won it? Now, this is a headline that plays on words and still passes the message. Why are they advertising themselves? Why are they getting some credit for something? Because they were very partisan. Because of some reasons. Take a look. Take a look at this headline. If Lockett wins today, will the last person to leave Britain please turn out the lights? You see, this is a very unserious headline. We're talking about a very serious and political tension. But then they don't say that's a problem. Because to them it's fun. They're giving them money. They're serving their readers what they want. They're making them laugh. Remember, tablets, meant to relax. Now, this was partly a response to the shift in British politics, but also to the assertion of authority by the new generation of interventionists, right-wing proprietors. Proprietors became the dominant press proprietor during this time. Here you see the influence. Let's see what the article is. And this is a ball, and his head drafted, power into a ball. This is manipulation of wrong in journalism. Original. Pictures are meant to, photographs, sorry, are meant to be what they are. Let us say the background where the image, the person in the photograph is, so that it can communicate. If you crop it out and change the background, you have distorted the truth. You get it? These are traditional perspectives. In the UK, 10 newspapers account for about 70% of the total circulation. UK TV, less diverse historically with strong influence of what? The BBC. Take BBC away from UK, you take away TV from UK. Do you agree? Reasons for the constitution of media ownership. High cost of barriers to entry, economies of scales, talk about the competitive forces between most political interests, economic interests, talk about the battle between the strong and the weak, talk about the emergence of the different kinds of media conglomerates, like the businesses owned by Arowolo. Influences you at the news level, influences you at the movie level when you're trying to see a movie, influences you when you're reading a newspaper. Imagine if someone's idea is disseminated through different mediums and you can't escape. Imagine if an advert is meant to go on all of those platforms, it means you can't escape it. It means you are a captured audience. I get it. Does this all make sense to you? Think about this. I'm going to ask you, could you please take a look at the wall clock in this classroom and tell me what the time is? Right? The wall clock in this classroom, tell me what the time is exactly. Where's the long hand? The minute hand where? Where's the second hand now? What has just happened? Come back to me. Thank you very much for doing that exercise. What has just happened is that you have been framed. I said, take a look at the clock in this classroom. Everybody has no other option. And if you want to tell me what the time is based on the clock, you cannot look outside of that cycle. Never. And it is what is there that you can only know. So the media tell you what they want you to know. The hand's there. And what you see this minute may not be what you see next. When I ask for the second, it's difficult to tell. Because after you said it's changed. How can you prove to me that it is what it is? At that time, it was what it is. The next second is gone. Things are changing. Media keep changing. So as things are evolving, things are changing. There's this popular statement I said that when in the moving world, if you wait, you will waste. The media didn't wait. The businesses didn't wait. They have to evolve along with the models. That's why they have a team of experts who do research. Think about what audience wants. The mind data of readers. You accept cookies on websites. You know what it means? You are accepting that they should use your data. Give you a more tailored content. And all they do afterwards is to dish exactly what you want. And you are always influencing them because it makes it very easy to suggest your passwords and all of these things. It will bring out all of it. Makes life easy for you. But what does it mean? You're becoming a baby in the hands of the media proprietors. You have to be very conscious of media persons. It's good to know. You can't entirely avoid this. But it's good to be aware of it. That is the essence of studying journalism. Media and leisure conglomerates, e.g., Disney, that own everything from theme parks, so big ABC, US, TV network, and all. Think about this. There was a time before LGBT community became recognized. Disney don't produce cartoons that have got content of LGBT, but now they do, because it is a thing that is now learning. Imagine if I can have a policy and I narrowed it down, design program for kids and educate the toddlers about a policy. Do the same to adults, 18 plus adults. Do the same to the elderly through newspapers, those that are newspapers. Do the same to those who are glued to their TV. Do the same to those who are on YouTube. Because what you repeatedly see on YouTube, Twitter, is what you continue to see. Similar content and growing. Someone here wrote an interesting essay. One of the essay, it's a review about black shadowing. Is it shadow banning in contests? Quite interesting. It's not only a reality, it happens and the victim may not even know. You just say that you don't get the likes, you don't get the comments, you'll be wondering, I used to have this and none of that. Why? Algorithm. Because somebody is behind the scene deciding how things work for you, and you don't know. Don't forget they're taking advantage of each and every users, because you are the one generating the content, but they are making the money. So the question is, are you on the menu or are you on the table? As a journalist, you should be on the table, not on the menu to be eaten, obviously. Media telecommunication conglomerate, e.g. Comcast Corp, largest cable and home internet service provider like Virgin in the US, and of course NBC Universal. All of this you could work all in together. Still on the trends, it's a long trend, okay? Constitution of media. The argument that there are potential abuse of power, like I mentioned, the loss of diversity of expressions, insufficient ideological diversity, conflict of interest, and repressive journalistic culture. Internalization of organizational values, not just consolidation of economic power of media, but also hegemonic role. Study this theory, take note of it, hegemonic theory of the media. Try to read it out. See how the dominant ideology remains dominant. And of course, hegemonic role of the media in structuring of social consciousness. You may want to also read about Noam Chomsky's manufacturing concepts. Another thing, still on trends, is that after the post-war media crosses more market-driven journalism, like I've argued, and for example, Roy Thomas, new kind of media will exemplifying concentration, conglomeration, and internationalization started with the Canadian newspaper. Once the Scotsman in 1959 became a book publisher and acquired the Times in 1966. Look at the acquisitions. Book publisher, influencing educators, students, academics generally, and then the Times, the financial markets, the elite readers, and what else did the Scotsman, the Canadian bought the Scotsman in the year? Of course, if you are able to capture those who are educating the next generation, capture those who decide the economic situation, what is left? Not so much. We talked about what Pablo earlier. So media moguls have been markedly represent figures in contemporary eras, and they have actually made their own interests, the media interest, and the media interest as the public interest. And the public interest is no longer what it is, except those that are determined or made popular by the media through agenda setting theory. You are familiar with agenda setting theory of the media? If you are not familiar, take note of it and read it. Agenda setting theory. Direct political uses of media empire have passed under weight of commercial pressures to build and maintain large heterogeneous objects. Remember this, take note of this. To maintain, to build one, to maintain, keep them. In 2016, only 80% of British adults said that they trusted nationalism. And look at what was happening. Why? How was the trust dropping? The media cannot satisfy all the readers. If you are asking me, give me what I want, it means you are telling me, take away what I don't want. What if what I don't want becomes something that affects me? Because I don't provide you the content, does not mean I cannot be trusted. I've made you decide. You decided the kind of truth you want to know. And I'll continue to give you the kind of truth you want to know. And then you can trust me. Public trust missing. So to achieve public trust, the media must be independent, must be very strict, must be dedicated to discerning the truth, knowing the truth, providing evidence for the truth, and presenting the truth, irrespective of what the audience desire. That's why bad news make good stories. Or bad stories make good news. That's the case with me. Now, the fall from 37 to 18 is terrible. Yet, this sharp decrease was merely the culmination of trend and has begun in the 1980s. Those believing that journalists tell the truth nearly halved between 1993 and 1993, making journalists in 1993 the most distrusted out of 15 in Britain. Quorum and sitting, 2019, go to page 188, find it there. Take a look at the graph. Zoom, 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 boom. Blah, 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 blah. You can see general decline, right? That's what happens when the media don't stand by what you also. When you go commercial, they choose commercial interest, political interest beyond public. True journalism is not commercial driven, it's not profit driven, it's public interest driven. Despite commercial and market incentive for constitution of ownership, it is not inevitable. The market can be regulated. Much attention is devoted to power of media moguls, but we should not overlook the power that individual politicians have over the media. Never. Never. We must never overlook it. Because one political figure can influence the polity. Beyond even a political figure, a media mogul. Waking up one morning and deciding this is what I want on all of my media. I want a film on this, I want a cartoon on this, I want news stories on this, I want an editorial on this. Every sphere, everywhere such outputs travel to, the influence reaches because somebody woke up with the wrong idea. Media is dangerous in the hands of the wrong person. And it can be very, very life changing and very, very good in the hands of the right person. So to everyone here, please be a good journalist when you're out there. I resigned my journalism professional job as a journalist because I want to come back in here to correct this. As I said, this topic is very dear to my heart. People are interested in commercialism. Money, 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 money. So investigative journalism is the best. Interpretative journalism is next to it. Public interest journalism and community journalism is very good. So why the reason for regulation? Why do we need to regulate it? Allocation of airways, building of national culture, to address issues of media ownership, to address issues of censorship, to address issues of media practices. How do we do this? Government do all of this, but still that does not make journalism to be immune to all of these influences, because these big shots good people in the society. They are friends of the government. They are working and dining and whining in the corridors of power. How many work can they not get? Is it the airwave approval to go live? You can't strip them off if they've got the connections to make it work. If they are paying them, the workers to do what they want. But then the question is, you as journalists do what is against your own wish, or do against what is of public interest because you need to pay the salary. As a case to think about. Remember, they can be truthful. And our senior regulatory structures are traditionally print and not subject to regulation, unlike broadcasting. Broadcasting is very, very strong. They're well regulated and print media. How many newspapers are you reading today? When you see that, you can easily tell what the TV is doing through monitoring and all of those things. So, but now establishment of post-licensing regulatory body set up Royal Charter. Royal Party, Google it, Royal Charter, and ignored by the press, who set up by his own body, if so, tough self-regulation, but still self-regulated, financed by the industry. Let's look at this counter-argument. Counter-argument about the rise of the internet, social media, and new technology. Who wants to read this out? Andrew?
Okay. The quote. The debate over media concentration is part of a much larger mobilization that's been taking place over the control of information resources. This includes advocacy for unimpeded access to content to the internet, net neutrality, the open source, file sharing, open innovation, and copyleft movements that challenge the traditional intellectual property system. All of these developments are manifestations of a wider conflict of over the extent and nature of control in the information society.
Is by norm. What do you think about this? You got the platform for the next 3, 4, 5 minutes. Tell me what you think about this concept. And Lara, what do you think?
I find it a bit too wordy, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand. Read it. You can read it.
I find net neutrality a very interesting topic in general. I think that, like Laura did say, it is wordy, so it is hard to fully understand what it is trying to say. But I think it's trying to say that basically that all of media over time has slowly got some control to control our everyday actions. Is that correct?
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to break it down for you.
Thank you.
So, the media debate over media constitution is part of a much larger mobilization that has been taking place over the control of information resources. Take a look at it. The debate over the media constitution, if I'm owning majority of the media, then it means that my voice is the most heard. There is need for plurality of the media. Let's have more different people, diverse people of different orientation, so we can have some element of representation. That is why the internet is there. You get that? Does it make sense? Now, moving on. This includes advocacy for unimpeded access of content to the internet, net neutrality. But that is not possible, isn't it? You want to say something? No. Feel free. You sure? Right. Now, this unimpeded access and net neutrality, ability to access as much information as you can, but you are aware that even some newspapers you have to pay to subscribe before you can have access to. Beyond that, the open source file sharing, you must have heard about open access when you get like your own channels, where you can access for free without university subscription. Majority are very similar. What do? You can't access them except you have money. So now, open innovation and copyleft movements have challenged the traditional intellectual property system. All of this development and manifestation will wider conflicts over essence and nature of control in the information system. Information is power. Knowledge is the most superpower. If you don't have access to it, you cannot use it because you don't know it. If you don't have access to the news of today, you all know that they are making some decision in the parliament today. You can't even say you want to go out to protest or campaign against this decision. When it becomes law, it affects your life even before you make the decision. If part of the law or the policy is that you cannot even protest, it means that you have been stripped off the entire law. Does this make sense to you? But on the internet, you know, there's what they call internet governance. Internet governance, are you aware? There are no presidents, there are no parliamentarians. 𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙤𝙬𝙠 does the work. All you need to do, tell the algorithm what to do. Any content on XYZ, let it only be seen by the poster and not anyone else. Any content on the Queen Elizabeth, about the death of Queen Elizabeth, flag it for approval before it is visible to any public. I get it. You will share an opinion, it will not get engagement. It will not get retweets. It will not get comments. Why? Because it has been mortgaged, guided until it is considered appropriate consumption. That's the way of regulation. Internet should be network, should be free, and should be access. But it's also dangerous. Take a look at the Arab Spring. In Nigeria, we had what they call ℎ𝕧𝑚. ℎ𝕧𝑚 was a serious moment. Led to quite a number of people died during that protest. But the government said nobody died. People have evidence and videos of how gun was sprayed into the air, killing people. The government said nothing like that. Or none of the rest. Because they own the media, they control the media, not really they own, they influence the media providers and journalists. And they dare not because they gave the license. What shall the public do? On this note, I want to put an end to this lecture. If you've got any question at this point in time, please ask. Online, please, Nelly, Joe, Anna, Juana. Please, if you have any question, pop it into the chats or ask. I am meeting your mic. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Okay, please.
Have you seen the Social Dilemma?
Social Dilemma.
Yes.
The movie, the movie on Netflix.
Yes.
I did twice. Yeah, I did twice about 3 or 4 years ago. About how the architects and of course the side what goes on. You look at he's going on to this content, he's done with this, so let's give him this, push this way. Oh no, just down. He's going this way in this direction. I don't give him this. They decide and then they stay glued. You don't see a movie. Now let's suggest more movie like this thing. It's a very interesting Netflix.
We should watch it during the second half of our class.
We should watch it again.
Because, I think it explains it perfectly.
You have my support. I got a Netflix account, so I'll connect them. How many people seen Social Dilemma? Just one person. Every other person has it. Is that the reason why we should? If you want Social Dilemma for the second half of this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2 left. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay, we got a question. Please, can you put the PowerPoint on Moodle? Yes, Anna, I'm gonna do that happily right now. All right, so we'll go on 5 minutes or 7 minutes, 5 or 7, 10. I'll stay in between because it picked it. So 7-minute break, and then we'll see again.
So is there companies that control people on the internet? Is that's what I got